Waddell Brooks Sr., your host, and this is Community Forum. Today we have with us the honor of Brother Willie Brooks. He's a community activist. He's an elder at the Christian Valley Christian Faith Fellowship Church in Zion, Illinois. Good evening, Brother Willie.
Good evening, Mr. Brooks. How you doing?
Right.
I'm a pleasure to be here in 2014.
So actually we're going to be talking about community views in 2014.
Okay.
2013 is history.
Can't do nothing about it.
Okay.
We own it.
But for our listening audience that may not know you, tell us, who is Willie Brooks?
Community activist Willie Brooks. Willie Brooks is a lifelong resident. When I grew up here, born and raised in Waukegan in the community, came back in 2000 and came back on fire for the community, seen a lot of need, and been speaking out on a lot of needs, been into behind-the-scene politics in local, state, and national levels of ears and eyes and mouth open about them different arenas that I have been allowed to go in. Trying to help the people, the have-nots, understand what the have is doing.
We have seen many things happen in 2013, and that should give us how to have solutions for 2014. But let's start with what are some of your predictions, though? First?
Well, I mean, we're in an era right now with technology and with technology and new laws have been passed. There's so many things we can and cannot do anymore. I mean, when we grew up, things was what we thought was bad. Now they're good. I mean, you can live any lifestyle you want. Now they talking about legalizing marijuana for recreational use. A lot of things now. The world have changed. I mean, English is not our basic language we speak. And now things have changed. Most men are out of the homes, not in the home. And them things we must change to get back in order, because order have left because the man's voice have been taken out of the home. And we must do something about that.
Brother Willie, you are now an elder at the Christian Faith Fellowship Church in Zion, Illinois. And as you know, the Bible has never changed. Thousands of years, and it's still the bestseller in the world.
The Bible haven't changed, Mr. Brooks, but a lot of times we turn our ear from God. God haven't changed. He never changed. But we turn our ear because so many things have come new to us, but they're not new, but we are so individual. We have lost that connection to other people now. We don't want to hear nothing from nobody. We know everything, and we get in a lonely stage, and we don't know who's talking to us. So things we have read about no longer make sense to us because we got so much sense now. We used to didn't have sense. We had to have the Bible for guidance. Now we don't have to have a Bible because we got so much information. I go on YouTube, I can go online right now and get an answer to something. I don't have to wait on God. Back in the day, I had to wait on God. God, I'm praying, I'm waiting on you, I'm trusting you. Now we don't have to trust him because now we got to pay their loan to get me out, or I got a life coach to teach me how to life, prosperity and life stuff, but I don't go back to the basics of the Bible.
Brother Willie, on your tombstone, it's going to say date of birth and date of death, but it's only what you do in between those dates that counts.
Well, it's so strange you say that little gap in between. Okay. Because what I do now is not for me, it's for the generation to come behind me. We talked about the last few days, we talked about Martin Luther King, and we've been honoring Martin Luther King because his name got a generation that really don't know him. And we follow him every year, we pump him up, and we talk about Martin, we remember everything he said, but during the time he was here, nobody cared nothing about him. They fought over him, he was a Republican. Martin Luther King was a Republican. But nowadays, you tell somebody that, now they don't believe it. So only our life is only what we leave to the next generation.
He's stated that he was Republican, but he didn't believe in the ideas of the Republicans as well as the Democrats if it's not in line with the teachings of God.
Well, that's what he said. But I'm still back then. We honor a man, but we look at back then systems was different. Back then, we had the man in Alabama stood in front of the door, say, "You will not go to school here. You're not in grade here," and they was all Democrats. So during our lifetime, that done changed over from Democrats to Republicans. The Democrats was the one that didn't want us to integrate. The Democrats didn't want us for civil rights. They didn't want to fought the civil rights law. Basically, that's fact. I'm not just talking off the top of my head. Now, we get now in 21st century, we have got in this system where have we grown any under a black leadership, under a black president? Have the urban people, the minority Afro-American people, Negroes, colored people, whatever name you want to name them, have they life changed for them by putting an Afro-American president in office? Have it changed?
Well, you spoke of a man.
Yeah.
In biblical times, that was Adam, that was Moses, that was Abraham, that was Jacob and David and so forth. Man, you cannot depend on man. What did God have to do? He had to send his only son here. So we cannot depend on President Barack Obama. We cannot you see what happened to the governors in the state of Illinois?
Yeah.
We have 4 or 5 in prison already.
Well, I see that, Mr. Brooks. I'm just saying, we had banked our life on when you become a Christian, you become a new creature in Christ.
Okay.
So when I become a new creature in Christ, I'm no longer going on my black or my Afro-American theology.
Okay.
I become a new creature, so my mindset have to change, or the things I think of holiness, I think of righteousness, I think of good things. I mean, some things, I mix them two together and we as a people get confused because it's not Democrat, Republican if I'm in the kingdom of God.
Okay.
It's righteousness, it's holiness.
Now you have traveled to Florida, you have said, I think Chicago, you have done preaching and Texas and so forth, you know. Now, are the things any different in those areas than they are here?
I have been fortunate over the last few years to go to across the United States.
Okay.
And I've seen quite a bit. And we had a point, we're talking about 2014.
Okay.
2014, we had a crucial point in our lives. Many things have changed. One thing have changed for minorities, we don't have the technology in most of our urban schools that other people have in other suburban schools.
Okay.
And so we're being left behind. As we remember Martin Luther King, we look back a lot of times, that is real good to look back. But as 2014, we have entered in a time in our life where more minorities and more Asians, Russians, Africans, people who call themselves, who are now American citizens, and they call themselves minorities. So they, under Martin Luther King, we came in and we were so glad to come in America. We were so glad to get into the store and sit down. We were so glad to move into the neighborhood. But under this new system, they're coming in, they own it. They come in not to sit down. They're not coming to be accepted. They come in to own something. All your hotels, most are owned by Indians. All of your food supplies owned by people they're mostly Muslims, or they're mostly people from where they from? Man, anyway, most people, Asians have taken over. Asians, and
the Chinese.
And, all different kinds of Chinese. So what I'm saying is, so everybody came here to own. To own. We so happy sitting in these seats, but we don't own no hotel. We don't own no grocery store chain. We don't own our food supply. All our gas stations are owned by other nationalities from Libya, from all different kind of places. So what do now we can't look no more and say, well, you owe me something. People now don't owe you nothing. Mostly you see like Detroit and went bankrupt, so they don't have to pay people pensions. They don't have to pay the old, when the new money come in, they don't have to pay you for being on a job 20, 30 years. So now we got to give to our next generation, no more just coming in and sitting down. We must come back into land ownership. With the recession, the last recession under the foreclosure system, now they have a system where you can't get a house right back again, so you got to rent. So now now on Wall Street now then came out with a whole Wall Street coming at the stock, they're buying houses and renting because renting going to be the biggest thing going. Because they're not going to let the system, let us minorities get back in the system because we have no ownership in nothing. Ownership. We fought over land in the Old Testament. All we did was fight over land, owning land.
Now, what is going to happen in 2014 to change that mentality?
Well, in 2014, first you got education.
Okay.
Education goes from STEM, science, technology, education, math, and medicine.
Okay.
Now, them five gonna be, STEM gonna be what we have to go into. Medicine, most of us got old, science, technology, education, and math.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So we got to go into them fields, and then we got to go in with another mindset. We got to go into ownership. We just came out of the baby boomers. All we did was work a job.
Okay.
Now we no longer talking about the United States. Most of the products now are being made in other countries, in China, Japan, other countries making our product. We're no longer producing anymore. We're consumers.
Okay.
We want the best. Afro-Americans want the best clothes. They want the designer jeans, but we have no employment for these people. So now we don't fight no more over small jobs, cleaning up, McDonald's jobs or Walmart jobs. We don't want to work them jobs. Most of us can't get in them jobs because we caught a felony or caught something smoking weed or things that happen, and they go on your background. So you bring other foreigners in here. People have other nations in here, and they come in on a visa to go to school. Most of your schools now are being filled. Mostly 60% of your school, maybe CLC. Over 60% are people from not born in America.
Okay.
So the colleges are making a lot of money off bringing people not born in America into America, and they call them the dream kids or whatever they call them, the dream law. And they come in, they go into our schools, all our major universities. So when we go to apply for a job, we don't even compete. So we have to change our mindset of education, change our mindset, or where do we really want to go?
Now, why aren't the schools equipped? We have schools just south of us that have all the modern technology, and maybe it costs maybe 15 to 17,000 per student a year, and in our locale here in the north of that is what, maybe $6,000 to $8,000 per year. Well, they don't have the up-to-date books, and they don't have the iPads and so forth. So how can they get equipped?
Well, one thing, our system in Illinois is going on. We on our taxes over a house. We pay our taxes under our own ownership. That come back to ownership again.
Okay.
In these urban areas of the North Shore, we don't own nothing, and so we less taxes when you got less owners. You know what I'm saying? Less taxes. We got apartment buildings and rental, and that once you own a big old property, you don't pay taxes. For the kids to go to school, so much per child go. For homeowners have to pay. We have more senior citizens right now who living on a fixed income. They have a tax law under there that frees your tax while you're young, while you're a senior citizen, that you don't have to pay. So where's this money coming from out of this urban area? Well, either senior citizens or people who don't own property.
So actually, appeal has to be made to change the system. The
system in Illinois have to change.
Yeah.
Because it's children being left behind. My grandchildren in Gurnee, they got iPads.
Okay.
Kids in Waukegan and Zion, I don't think they get them at 5 years old. So if they're 5, they work on iPads. Kid in Waukegan, North Chicago, doing pencil and paper.
Okay.
So when they get to high school, the one in Gurnee, 10 years ahead of the one just getting there to find out they can do it in 2 seconds. So what do we, it's a great split right there. And so now, people in China and Japan is 10 years advanced than us. Their kids are 10 years advanced than us, something we can't even, the technology haven't even reached America yet.
So what we're teaching our kids now that we live in a global society.
We live in a global society.
We're competing for jobs globally now.
Globally. And the other thing about it.
And we got pencil and paper, we can't compete.
We can't compete. Plus, you don't use your mind with pencil and paper. With a computer, you don't use your mind. I was telling you earlier today, I get on my iPad, I say what I want, I don't have to think. It pop up. So we don't have to use the mind no more. We don't have to count my finger, 4, 3, 7. I don't have to do that no more. I don't have to use the pencil, so I just say something. There it is.
Amazing.
So what we're doing, we're taking technology and replacing the mind. It comes down to have and have-nots. 20 solutions for 2014. How do we tap in How we tap in there? Because we have to, if we're not going to do it in public school, we must set up private charter schools to bring the kids, the young people up with the technology skills they need to do. It's going to have to go private.
Now, Brother Willie, charter schools are growing now.
Yeah.
But isn't that leaving out the a great number of children that...
Yeah, it's leaving them out, but they're still going to educate them. They're going to give them an education, but the education most likely will leave them to poverty, lack, and prison. But, you know what I'm saying? It's not fair, but it is what it is. A lot of kids are going to be left behind.
Tell me about this prison system you're talking about. The population is growing. It's on an increase. Why is that? Well, we say lack of education, lack of preparation. You know, we're not empowering the kids, so they're dropping out. They've been expelled and so forth, and then they get the F is on their back, the felony, and that stays with them for the rest of their life. Now, when they go into prison, that's a different system altogether. It's a home for them because the kids in poverty get a higher sentence than of the same crime by a non-minority.
I was just reading an article earlier today. About 56 million kids had abortion since 1963.
Wow.
That didn't even make it to life in the black community.
Okay.
Now you got, the family was set up with Adam and Eve.
Okay.
Husband and wife.
Not Adam and Steve.
No, not Adam and Steve.
Okay.
That's what we're talking about Bible. Adam and Eve were supposed to reproduce and be fruitful. Supposed to be fruitful.
Okay.
Steve and Steve can't make another baby. Not yet. And so now, the other part of that is, we got women raising these young boys.
Oh, okay.
They're angry with the man because all they did was have sex. And they thought they took sex as love because they never been taught love, because they never had the love of the father. So when a young boy come along and impregnate them and they have fun and the baby come, she started hating the young boy because he don't know how to be a father because he never been father. Young girl don't know how to be a mother, so they got an angry woman raising some angry kids. And she do the best she can, but she can only do so much because society and man and life was not made for women to raise the child alone. It was made we was made with a man's voice in the house. So when a woman tried to do it all on herself, something is missing. The discipline part is missing. So when we see the discipline part missing, we got these young boys and young girls that's angry. They got that other side. They never seen the love of the father. Yeah, he paid child support. Yeah, he rubbed him on the head. Yeah, he take him somewhere. But they never heard the strong man's voice in the house. So we raised up a generation that never had the father's voice. And they raised up a generation, most of us came off drugs, some kind of drug or alcohol. So the mother was depressed. She was deprived of her education. She deprived of her full life because of having sex earlier than when it's supposed to be made. Sex should have been had when the husband and wife become together. They should have made sex.
Okay.
But we have sex, premarital sex started all this. And so we got a lot of angry young women who have babies and they hollering and screaming and they just be glad for them to go to school. They just go to school. And so they don't go to PTA meetings. They don't participate because most of them are illiterate. They didn't ever make it. So girls have a baby at 14, 15. They see no hope. Then you surround them in an area, you put them around in an area where they only see one color of people. They don't see multicultural. If you go to the store, you see an Arab person in there working. That's the closest you're going to see. Most of them don't even see a white person unless they go beyond the freeway back, 41. Because they have no contact. So you live in a system where you've been fed limitations. And under limitations, you only do what the limitation allow you to do. Go to work, go to home, wait on my welfare check, slap this kid upside the head because I don't see no way out and I'm tired of being tired, but who do I talk to? And then we go to church, and the church supposed to bring you hope, and that church telling you, give me the rest of my money because and Johnny gets mad with the church because he can't get a $100 pair of shoes because he's seeing you give your last money to the church. So the church look like they pimping, look like the world pimping. So the boy come out the house mad as hell, mad at everybody. Mad at everybody. Then he arrest him on some little petty thing. Then once he get in the system, then gangs grab him because they show him love. Gangs show him love. We don't show him love. We want to talk about him, but we never show them love. So where do we go for solution? Start loving our young boys.
You mentioned about the the pulpit. That was a time when we could go to the pulpit, go to the church for help. But now we have the emphasis on finance now.
Everything about buildings. It's not about building family.
And they want the poor people in the local area to finance the building. And
you give them a fish, but you never taught them how to fish. Okay. But you want their catch. When they go to get a job, now I want 10%, I want all your money. Every time you look around, I want your money. But you never taught them how to keep a job, never taught them how to go interview a job. So you had a low-life job, you had a job just sweeping and cleaning, and every time I look around to preach, I go to church, people, they want my money. So people quit going to church because they're hearing the word, but at the end of the bottom line, one through hooping, and you want my money. So people say, man, that's all game. Then they watch the preacher riding around in $100,000 car, and they look around, man, I ain't got it. So we diminish the power of the church. The power of the church should have been holy. The power of the church should know, but we got so entangled with politics, and church got entangled with politics to want to be a politician and be a man of God. But hey, God is holy. God is sanctified. God is by himself. He sanctified us away from all that. But we're entwined ourselves so much with that, with the world system. So the people look at, man, you riding around in, none of them stay in the community.
Yeah.
None of them stay in the community. They don't know the feel of going to the corner store. They don't know the feel of walking down the street and somebody holler, hey, baby. They don't know the feel of watching the little boy go to school with his shoes all untied and one shoe waiting on the bus to get his only meal they're going to get. They don't see it. But they only come an hour before church and stay an hour after and they're going to leave the community. But they hear from God. And people notice this because everything now is visual. Everything now on Facebook. Everything now, my camera could take a picture of everything you do. So they say, I see you in the spirit. But the people saying, hey, I'm hungry. You didn't feed me. All stuff is not natural food. It's love. And that's what we're missing at right now. We we got big buildings that we go in one day a week. But with the money, for real, where's the love? If we can love these kids, they wouldn't join gangs.
Well, you say one day a week, but it's probably 2 hours.
Well, about 4 hours a day.
Yeah,
they throw Sunday school in there, some of y'all church.
Okay. Well, let's take a look at some highlights there in 2014 we're going to see as far as our youth are concerned. There's a young man that, there are three young men. We might as well talk about all three of them.
Okay,
we're not going to discriminate.
Okay.
There are three young men graduated from North Chicago Community High School, and they're in the professional ranks, and one is going to be playing in the Super Bowl in February. Brian
Schofield. People was they've been in our church long as I can remember, Christian Faith Fellowship Church, Zion. They've been at that church, her mother and his brother and sister.
Okay.
And he used to dance in the ministry of dance. And he came through North Chicago system, Little League system, came through the high school system, and went to their military family, and then went to Wisconsin. Graduated 2004, I think.
In Madison, University of Wisconsin.
University, Big Ten, defense player, one of the top 10 defense players in the Big Ten.
Okay.
And was able to be drafted by the Arizona Cardinals.
Okay.
And he hurt his knee last year. First year they redshirted him because they got hurt in University of Wisconsin. They drafted him, and he played there about 2 years. And then this year they let him go, but they let him go to Seattle Seahawks.
Okay.
And so the Seattle Seahawks are going to be champions. They in the Super Bowl. So I believe this is the first one out of North Chicago.
Yeah.
They actually made the Super Bowl.
We had one to make the playoffs
Michael Turner, yeah.
with the Atlanta Hawks.
Yeah, he played for
Atlanta Hawks.
Falcons.
Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah, Atlanta Falcons played many years for that.
But this one will make the Super Bowl.
The Super Bowl. The Super Bowl. So I was thinking how this is. Man, it's a big thing from North Chicago. They say in North Chicago, we go around, us older ones say, man, there's no hope for the kids in North Chicago. Okay. They don't have the right funding. They don't have the right this, and they don't do this. But when you look at one, can these dry bones live? Can something come out of there? Can a rose come out of all them thorns? Can a rose come out of them weeds? So I believe this is a big event for North Chicago and young men who have been raised by single moms or in our community, in our urban community in this suburb area. And so I would like to give O'Brien Schofield Super Bowl party where fathers could bring their sons and we all watch a big screen TV and we have a celebration. They win or lose. We would show the mentorship and the kinship of community. It's not about church now. It's about community. Okay. Because a lot of these kids don't go to church, but they don't see a man. So I see a vision of men coming together and bringing in young boys in there and having a Super Bowl party, because most of them would never go to a Super Bowl party where it's supposed to be played, and we'd decorate the place like a real Super Bowl party, and we'd be able to enjoy each other. They'll see men, real men.
Men of valor?
Men of valor. Mighty men of valor. They would see them. They would see them not trying to win them over somewhere, but showing them being real men, holler, scream. Because a lot of times in the church they see us men crying, weeping, and on our knee or kissing the man, running behind the pastor. But now they'll be able to see us as men. They're being real men, hollering, screaming, and being men. And that'd be an awesome time for young boys to see men and you got enough men in our community to sponsor some boys. Maybe $10, $12, so we buy them food and we have drinks and they won't want for nothing. Wouldn't that be a joyful time? Now we'll take one occasion by one guy taking and making the Super Bowl. Maybe he's not the star, but in our community he's the star. But he's on the Super Bowl. And so we can take O'Brien Schofield's name and say, you know what? We're not going to wait till he dies and celebrate him. We're going to celebrate him while he's in the game, while he's running the ball, while he's blocking somebody. We're going to have a team of people in North Chicago, young people and older men coming together saying, this is one of us. And whatever the other team play, I don't even know the other team, we're going to be Seattle Seahawks that day because one of us is playing. That's community.
Denver, I believe it's.
Yeah, but he playing Denver. But in our community, this is one of us. And that's where communities used to be at, because we all used to stand for one.
Now, we could go back a little further. The Great Lakes Naval Base had military families that had a high percentage of their students going to North Chicago Community High School at one time.
At one time.
Now, this is what happened. This young man, Schofield, was from a military family and excelled in high school, in North Chicago Community High School. Now, we don't have, what percentage? Maybe 1% of military families come to North Chicago High School now. You see what I mean? I'm trying to bring this up to, the impact was there. Now we lost all of that talent from the military families.
Well, you just said the impact. We would get, at one time, we'd get impact funds because they were putting all these kids into our system that didn't have a home, didn't own homes, so we had to get impact money. The government had to give us impact money, infusion money. Okay. So then we're not thinking 2004 or 5, they said, wait a minute, we don't want our kids to go to North Chicago. We're going to send them all to Highland Park. So the people down there who have money and have the big houses to pay big taxes every year, they say, no, we'll split this up. We'll let y'all, hey, keep sending them there. We'll take a few, but y'all keep sending them there. But now the military shifted back in about 2008. They shifted from military housing to they privatized the homes over there.
Okay.
Okay, that impact money now is no more impact money because anybody can stay in the military homes. So now they give you a voucher where you're going to have to stay in military homes when you move into Lake County. You can stay anywhere from Kenosha, Pleasant Prairie, all the way down to anywhere as long as you get to work on time. So that changed the system of impact money. When that changed the system of impact money, our schools no longer had that extra 1.5 million, 1.8 million, or whatever they was giving them to keep our schools afloat. So we lost that money. Now the base is like a skeleton out there now because you don't have no more advanced training out there. You have very little. You just got RCT. RCT recruit training don't bring in many. Most of them guys are single. So they don't bring in families. So where we get families at now is from the naval base, or not naval, from the hospital side. Hospital side got military people work over there, but most of them get vouchers for a living, and no one actually want to live in North Chicago.
Well, hospitals closed now, and they united with the...
They reunited, they brought them together.
The VA.
The VA and Great Lakes, but they use Great Lake military people. They're working in the hospital. So that's what I'm saying. They give them a voucher for living.
Yes.
So nobody want to live in North Chicago because of the environment North Chicago brings. I mean, you know, it's so much chaos, and the Navy recommends not to stay in North Chicago.
Well, maybe not the Navy, but the military people.
That's what I'm saying.
When they have sponsors, and they will tell the incoming military people, avoid North Chicago. Here's where you see.
Yeah, I mean, they tell them. They want everybody want your kid to be the best.
Okay.
Everybody wants your military person. I wouldn't move you in an area that's going to be harmful to you or your family because it's not benefiting me if you can't get to work because your house got shot up.
Okay.
It's not benefiting me. You go to the store and your wife get robbed and you over on a ship. And I'm leaving them there because I'm not a good watchman of your family if I'm the government. So the government wants your family to be in somewhere safe, Pleasant Prairie, Zion. They got certain sections they don't want you to go in and do business. I mean, they're your protector. It's nothing really to do with the people, but they got to protect the people, and they know it's unnatural. The community is not the standard they want them to be in, so the Navy don't want to worry about them at night.
So maybe in North Chicago, we should just fold up the tent, huh?
No, it's a valuable place to live. That's one of the most valuable places to live. What's
going to turn it around?
I believe in 2014 they're going to tear down the old projects, get that for the
Marion Jones
for the tear down, build more houses, build upscale houses. They're going to change the school system. The school I think right now is under the state of Illinois.
Yeah.
They're going to change that school system. Where the
charter probably.
Right. So where Novak used to be at, what Neil used to be at, which one of them? You're going to change that to Catholic.
Yeah, your Novak King.
Yeah, going to change that to a Catholic school, and that'd be more private Catholic school. And so a lot going on in North Chicago because North Chicago hasn't been tapped yet. They still have a lake. They still have pure water. So that's one of the best places for 2014, I think, to relocate is North Chicago.
Okay.
I think that's going to be up and coming. Everything else, the water bill in Antioch and all out there is going to go sky high. 2014, what's going to happen? What's my view? 2014, the water bill going to run them back to North Chicago. They clearing the land and clearing that poverty out the way so they can come back down Sheridan Road. Any property on Sheridan Road right there from 17th to 18th, around here, 16th to 18th. They say all that's prime land. All of them bought buildings. Everybody can come out of Lake buying up all that. Everybody knows it's getting ready for a boom city.
Keep the faith, Willie.
That's a boom city finna happen.
Okay, in addition to O'Brien Schofield, graduated from North Chicago Community High School, you have Michael Turner, played with the Atlanta.
He played with Atlanta. Before that, he played NIU.
And okay,
came out of NIU.
Okay,
one of the top rushers we had.
Right, and also Sean Marion was a basketball star.
Didn't he just go here for
Dallas? He was with a championship of the Dallas.
Yeah, but then he just went through here. I mean, I don't think he really stayed here much didn't spend no time.
He may not have graduated, but he went here.
It's a small town.
He comes here, and I think and donates time and training.
Helps, gets a free camp for the kids.
And also, I think at A.J. Catsmire School, he donated some playground equipment and so forth.
He does.
You feel part of it.
Yeah, he really helps out in the community.
Right.
And not by not graduating from here. I
Right.
think Michael Turner did something with the football field. Didn't he do something, build something new? I don't.
I think they recognize his accomplishments there. So you see diversity coming back to North Chicago?
Well, it have to be diversity because, like I said, water's finna go high. People want they want that lake. They want to see the lake. Anywhere you near the lake, it's valuable property. You go down to Everson, anywhere from Everson on. Anywhere from Lake Forest on down.
One thing has to be improved, and that's crime in the city. We have the Justice Department will be coming to North Chicago, and because of the complaints about the police brutality, of the citizens there, and I think it's the first day of February, the first Saturday I know.
Okay.
It's going to be at 10 o'clock, 10 to 1, I believe, for those that maybe want to come out at the Falls Park Community Center.
Okay, so they're gonna tell their complaints?
Yeah, they're going to look at because this will be the third time, I guess. 2007 they were here, and 2012, and they're coming back 2014. And they feel a great need if they're going to make this a #1 city that you're speaking about. They're going to have to clean up the crime within the police department.
Well, they did.
The one that's protecting you.
Just in Detroit a few days ago, they doing in Detroit.
Okay.
New mayor came in, new sheriff. He's arrested 37 drug dealers in one day. He changed the mentality of the people. Crime's not going to run wild because it's going to be a multicultural city. They allowed it to go far enough. Now they locked them all up. They're coming back with a clear land, and multicultural people will enter that city.
Did they make a difference by changing the mayor, though, with a new vision?
Well, the mayor have to change. Our mayors have to change. They say the buck stops at the top.
Okay.
There's nothing wrong, even in Detroit. They just got Dave Bing out and brought a white mayor in. Nothing wrong. Maybe Dave Bing doing a job, but right then he couldn't do no more. Because we have to clean the whole slate of that Coleman Young germ that hit Detroit. In that same way, Chicago's going to change the whole system. The whole system got to go. Most likely going to bring in a white mayor.
Okay.
Somebody strong and go behind the door that we can't go. It's a lot of money out here, and people will move. People, they got to move. Certain people only take us so far. Corporation, I can only take a corporation so far with limitations that I know and limitations of people I know, and you only can go far as you know.
North Chicago is a prime land, right? Prime
land.
A lot of mayors would love to be have the area that North Chicago.
Well, you look at Abbott was finna close up in 2014.
Okay.
They had the key. They were going to tear down that whole area over by the North Shore.
14th Street over
there.
Yeah,
14th. But now, 2013, they seen another move. They diversified and brought in Abbey. Abbey now is putting stuff down there. Now they're building back up. The building's now being filled again. You see people down there working again. You see the parking lot got cars again. So that means something is going to happen in this region. And North Chicago going to be part of it. Do we keep the same mayor? Probably 3 more years. But I'm saying change got to come.
He's got to go.
And not only him, got to go, the council, that rubber stamp council got out there.
Okay.
We got to bring any corporation. There's nothing wrong with the people. They just can't take them no further. You remember the Broncos, Denver Broncos.
Okay.
They had the Bible guy, Tebow.
Okay.
Tebow was a good guy, man. He's a good guy. He won a few games. He got them to the playoffs.
Okay.
And when the season over, they fired Tebow, and they brought in they brought in the best coach they got now. You know what I'm saying? The quarterback they got now. Manning. Yeah. They brought Manning in because Tebow couldn't take him across the line. Tebow was a good, fun guy. He made football, but for a football player, they had to bring in the best.
Okay.
To get him over there. They wouldn't have got this far if they don't bring Manning in. Tebow he had one playoff game. Everybody went to screaming, we going up. But then the head man say, we can't go in the promised land with him.
Okay.
He's a showboat. He's a good guy. And he made one. But now Tebow ended up on TV with a TV show. He ain't even in football no more. Now Manning going for the Super Bowl. So I'm saying nothing was wrong with Tebow.
Okay.
He probably could quarterback 5 years from now. But right now, we need to win. Right now, North Chicago need to change. Ain't nothing wrong with none of these people on the board. Ain't nothing wrong with them. But they can't take you nowhere else because they ain't been nowhere else.
Okay, okay. This is fantastic. Well, you spoke about diversity. What about immigration in this country? You think there's any hope that we're going to get an immigration law passed?
Well, we already got immigration. That's what you was asking me. I've traveled the whole United States. It ain't black and white no more.
Okay.
See, we looking at Hispanic people
Okay.
because we in Illinois. But if you go to other parts of the country, it's not all Hispanic. The Chinese, the Russians, the Africans. The Africans are about catching up with the Mexicans. Nigeria, all your different countries, all your different African countries. All of them drive cab down in Chicago. Every country, every city you go in, they all drive cab. They stay under that ground, right, driving cabs and limos, but you never pay attention. They had infiltrated our thing.
I know in the hotels, my wife and I went to in the East Coast.
Yeah.
Your Ethiopians, they're just
I
taking
tell
over
you,
here.
they the baggage boy, they the bus boy, they do everything.
That's how I found out that the oldest bones in the world, they call her Lucy, but they gave me the right name, the person name, was the mother of all mankind.
Within these Ethiopia.
Was the Ethiopian.
See what I'm saying? They're not dumb when they get there because they know where I live at from the airport.
Okay.
They get to the airport, you get in the cab, they know where I live at. They never have to tell them nothing. They know how to get them.
Okay, amazing.
So that means I think you sent me the video where all the African places are not in the bamboo.
Tarzan and Zane.
Yeah, they live in like New York. They live in big buildings. They live in Chicago, like, you know, we over there thinking they ragged. They show us all these pictures where they running through the forest with a bamboo on them. Them people are educated. They know. You look at South America. Remember they had the tents. Remember they had the tent houses.
Yeah.
Before Mandela, they had the tent houses. They fought for it. Now they don't all live in tent houses. The tent city is gone.
Good old email. I found that. Someone emailed it to me, and I emailed it, blasted to everyone to let everybody know Africa is not Tarzan and Zane. They got blue suits and ties
they got
and buildings. And
they live good.
Yeah,
and we around here thinking we going to go. First thing I get a word, Mama, I'm going to go to Africa and get them a word. Yeah, they getting your money. Yeah.
Right. Well, mentorship for black males, how important is mentorship?
You know what? I raised in a house with women.
Okay.
And mentorship meant much to me. And I have quite a few sons, 7 sons. I haven't been a real good father, I think, because I took some years off from life.
Okay.
But when I look back on my own life, I had mentors in the neighborhood through Boy Scouts, through the Masons, Junior Masons, through church. That helped me learn the fundamentals of being a man and being a boy.
Okay.
I walked away from it, but that mentorship was always there. Older men sowing into my life. Older men telling me don't do certain things and turn here, turn there, don't do that, don't hang with this guy, don't do that. That meant a lot to me as I see it now in my senior years. And I just think that we can't put the father back in the home always, because a lot of times the one night stand situation happen. But we can put mentors in their lives.
Okay.
Living this thing. Most pictures I have on Facebook, so I got me and my wife always on the picture. Showing husband and wife.
Okay.
Showing husband and wife. See, Brother Willie got a wife because I'm always seeing him with his wife. Wife always. I'm not seeing me always in church. Seeing me enjoying life with my wife or my grandchildren. So a mentor mean a whole lot, but we got to be sincere about mentoring. Mentorship should be in for long term. We like to go in and pat a person on the head for a few times, but I've been rejected by my real father, been rejected by the first girlfriend I love, and then here come a mentor who want to play with me and use me as a showcase in the church, a showcase somebody. I'm mentoring a young man. Mentorship is really taking over the father point, because you got to be good and the bad with this boy or child. And you shouldn't be on another agenda. Your agenda should be long term. And if you're not in it for the long term, it's really just leave it alone, because these people need real help to renew their mind from a single mind of living alone, fighting for every bone themselves, to show them that really man is, and then you correct them and show them the good and the bad part of life. I take that real serious, because we like to go and grab a lot of boys and just play with them. Then they look for you. Well, I don't know what to do, Mr. Brooks. And man, I ain't got time for you right now. I got something to do. So I don't know what I'm doing to him when I'm taking him and playing with him. Then I'm taking him back and throwing him back. When he need me, I ain't there because I got too much stuff on my plate myself. So to be a mentor, you got to have a clean plate and time to spend as a mentor.
Well, the government, plays a great part too, because the women, they're on a low-income housing and get funds from the government.
Yeah.
They cannot get those funds if the man is in the house. So they're contributing to it.
That's what started. Back in the 50s, they say we'll pay you more money if every baby you have, but he can't be found in the house. That was
amazing.
That was back in the day. Back in the 60s and 50s, you get paid more money to stay home and watch the stories at 12 all day long, as long as you keep producing baby without a man in the house.
Amazing.
So they separated, they broke up the family unit. It was a family unit. And some of us survived and some of us didn't. And a lot of people, because women had to go to work after the welfare started cutting back, and women had to work and to work and take care of families, so you're not home when Johnny get out of school. That's where we come to the latchkey program, trying to have somebody watch the kids in between school and time the parent get off. But that doesn't fail, because the kid now gets so much going on in the middle of the day, so you give him the latchkey program. The latchkey's supposed to stop him from getting in trouble in the evening. Then you had the morning one supposed to be able to feed him, because you didn't have enough. You didn't want to get out of bed in the morning, so before you get on bus, a kid without no empty stomach cannot use his mind and learn with empty mind. So these programs were started with the morning program was started with Black Power under them guys out of Oakland, California.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
But they were doing a good job. That's what they're doing. Breakfast feeding.
Breakfast. They was feeding them breakfast.
Yeah,
they're feeding them breakfast. Can't think of their name right off the top of my head.
Entrepreneurship. I mean, you were very successful in that, and just because I guess you were determined that you should be able to own your own business. Well, and you were successful with it.
Well, I just seen on Facebook this morning one of the brothers in the community talking about in Lake County, one of the richest counties in America.
Okay.
We don't support black businesses. But when you look at it from the real point, black businesses have an obligation themselves to be in business. You know what I'm saying? I can't sit on here, this radio station, and cross my legs and scratch, itch, and do any kind of way. It's a certain standard I should be sitting at this table, sitting at this TV with, no matter who watching. I don't know if black person, white person, whatever.
Okay.
So it's a certain standard you carry that it should be, wherever I go, it should be. Business owner, my wife owned concession business. We had to deal with multicultural people.
Okay.
People, most people of wealth. So I could not come half-stepping every day. I could not have a black business saying, I don't have chicken today. You're going to take hamburger.
Okay.
Well, chicken on the menu, chicken got to be, you got to have chicken and I got to have the chicken done right. And I got to have the chicken, I got to open on the right time. I got to have the place clean. I got to have the mentality of dealing with a multicultural people.
Okay.
I can't never be out and tell them I'm always out because I ran out, because that's business.
Okay.
I drive all the way from Wisconsin to get your hamburger, and I get here and I don't have the hamburger right, and we ain't got no hamburger today. And we ain't got no cheese today, Monday. People in the world do not have to deal with you anymore. So your name become bad. It's not black business, it's business.
Right.
And we get the mentality, just because I'm an Afro-American, I do not need another Afro-American to support me. Because if I open up a business, if it's a God vision, my friend may not never support me. But somebody coming because it's a vision from God. And the vision from God is it don't add people. It adds, the standard gotta be set high. I got to be dressed right. I got to be clean. I got to be on time. And not coming back to some place I give my money one time. Yeah, I give you 2 times. I keep coming back, and you don't realize you're dealing with more. Just because I'm black don't mean I'm used to anything just thrown together. I want it done right. And I'm not going to give you my money just because you Afro-American saying, well, I owe my bill. My plumber, the guy do my plumbing, is black.
Okay.
The cakes I used to sell, I dealt with a black bakery.
Okay.
The bus trip I deal with a black bus company.
Okay.
I deal with a black restaurant, black owned and operated, all these businesses. But they all have a standard they come with. They all standard leads up to what I'm expecting out of somebody I give my money to. So, I mean, if you're not, you want to give me I'll give you $5, I'm looking for $5 worth of service. But I can charge you $10 or $15 because I'm giving you the same service that Apple be giving me. Then you got to pay the price because my insurance going to be higher because I'm not franchised out. So I'm saying we have to quit expecting a black business to be Mama Lucy's, where she used to cook back there. The health department not going to let me be sloppy. Certain things not going to be. I got to pay the same insurance. I have to pay the same thing, everything what everybody else have to pay.
But you remember when Bobby Thompson had an uptown meat market downtown, and immediately next door was Reliable Meats, a white owner. And do you know the people would go to Reliable Meats because they say his meat was redder. Well, and this the ice is cold and so forth. Now the only reason Bobby Thompson's meat was dark is because it didn't turn over as much because the people went too reliable.
That was then. This is now.
Okay. This is 2014.
Yeah, yeah. You talking about a slave man.
Okay.
Who always think the white man got better stuff than us.
Okay.
But I've been in this system about 10 years, understanding if I bring the product, people gonna come.
Okay.
If I bring the product, people gonna come. People gonna buy if I got the product. And I can't set shop up in the middle of chaos and think people of all cultures gonna come. I must set my shop up or whatever I'm doing, I gotta have advertise multicultural. If you think it's a black guy coming, my mind shifted. I'm gonna get him. I ain't gotta pay him $20. I'm gonna beat him down 15. So, but you forget I gotta pay the same or more for my meat, and I gotta pay everything. My prices are dealing with the world. They don't see color. They see in God we trust.
Okay. So
we have to change the mentality of the people. The entrepreneur got to be changed. That he had to set a standard, and both of them have to be changed. That's what. So that's how I would feel on that.
Well, this is fantastic. Well, you may want to touch on, and we hit it a little bit, same-sex marriages. You want to touch on that because
same-sex marriage.
Same way with I guess the court, they're waiting on the Supreme Court to make a decision.
Well, same-sex marriage is here to stay. There's no sense in trying to come against it.
Okay.
It's in most cities, in most places, it's legal in most states.
Okay.
I'm saying to you on this matter right here, I got to show the example of husband and wife.
Okay.
See, if I keep talking about them, I'm giving them all I'm going to tell you, me and my wife are male and female, and we reproduce babies, and they're going to reproduce generations to come. And so once I show them this example of husband and wife, I really can't change nobody else's mind. How did they like another man and like another woman? But I'm going to keep being a man and a woman and then show it and talk it and speak it, man and woman. I can't hate them.
Yeah.
So now the church is going to have to marry them after June. So it's going to get even a little hotter for, you know. I don't have an opinion on it, but I know it's in our school system real bad right now. It's in our school system all the way down from preschool all the way up to high school.
This is a very serious moral problem then, right?
We lost it. We was in there collecting money for the Bentley and never spoke out against them. No watchman on the gate. Now the watchman want to come in and close the gate had already been flooded already. So all we do is live the best. We didn't come in the world to change the world. We didn't come in to be the world. We came in the world to change the world. And I got to show them by example, by being a husband and a wife. A husband and a wife be married to a wife and have children, that reproduce children. And when I show them that, I won't change the whole world.
Well, these are church-going people, too, because they have the same Bible, and that teaching is not... Well, I may mention this, though. Nothing is new in the world.
No.
This was happening thousands of years ago.
They've been happening.
Sodom and Gomorrah,
yeah. They're gonna always be there. And half the church leaders around here, they already gay. A lot of these church leaders gay. A lot of these women, a lot of stuff going on already. We just overlook it because oh no, I know that ain't it.
But it's surfacing now.
It's surfacing.
We're going all the time.
And don't be surprised who may surface.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay, I want to thank you very much, Brother Willie. It's always great to have you come on the Community Forum and let the people in Lake County know that you can shoot right from the hip.
It's kind of common.
You tell it like it is. Yeah. And we like to have. I used to have quite a few ministers on the program, and I got criticized. Some of the public say, you have too many pastors. I wish I could have a pastor at every program.
Yeah.
You know, now we realize that we're not going to turn everybody around, but at least we can put it out to make it palatable, and so they can make their own decisions.
The example.
So you didn't come out here to change the world.
No,
you come out here to. So I want to thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. We had Brother Willie Brooks, entrepreneur. He's an elder at the Christian Faith Fellowship Church, and he's a community activist in Lake County and throughout the country, right?
Good.
And I like to mention this, that your pastor was a pastor. Your pastor's wife gave the invocation.
My pastor's wife.
Pastor's wife at the House of Representatives in Washington, D.C.
Yeah. Opened up for Congress, I think, of 2004, under Phil Crane, dominator.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, so we want to thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for taking time from your busy schedule to listen to Community Views in 2014. My name is Dr. Waddell Brooks. This has been Community Forum. Thank you very much.